Good. White belt question. They're saying that when they do close guard, they're like super tired, and they were wondering if it's because they're not strong enough or because they need better technique. And what's the quick answer here?
Lift more weights.
Yeah, that's it. Lift more weights. You just gotta get it. No, let's talk about it. So probably what's happening is they are so tense in general, and they think that they need to be going and like trying to squeeze them like a tube of toothpaste.
That, or like I have a good post here, and then you just pull in with your arms.
Yeah. So I was thinking about how to answer this in a smart way. When should you be tense and when shouldn't you? Well, you should just be tense, meaning you should be putting some effort into what you're doing if it has a purpose. So a purpose would be like if I was laying here too relaxed and he goes to do something and it just immediately makes my legs pop open. Well, then I should have been a little more tense than that. But it shouldn't be that I'm trying to kill him with my legs the whole time. I'll just use my legs when I need to. And there is a pressure you can maintain, like I have to keep my ankles crossed, I have to be ready to move him around. But if there's nothing going on, I'm just laying here. I don't have to be trying to like, squeeze him, leg scissor style. But it's just knowing when he starts reaching back for my leg, I should be tensing that leg up now because he wants to go for it. And the other thing will be is if I am just laying here, say just pulling on him and doing things that aren't really effective, I'm going to get tired because I'm not doing anything to really off balance you or affect you or make you have a dilemma to deal with. You're just kind of going, oh, the dilemma is he's pulling and squeezing me. That's not really a big deal.
Yeah.
So actually having a guard, so meaning like if I'm going to do stuff, I'm using my legs purposefully. I'm going to pull him in. I can open up now because I'm going to do things.
Are you breaking grips?
He's grabbing me. Am I coming in here, doing stuff?
Creating angles.
Creating angles. And then now I'm only making my legs, like my legs are actually pretty relaxed. There's a little bit of a squeeze just so he doesn't burst up and stand or something. But I'm choosing when to put pressure. And if I just do it too hard the whole time, I'll be exhausted. There's only key moments where I need to do that much effort. So here, I'm keeping some pressure down because it serves a purpose. But if we get moved to another position, I'm not just going to keep squeezing him because that doesn't do anything anymore.
I mean, the other thing too is like sometimes, let's say, I go here and I go a little bit too far with my knee, you can off balance me that way and like maybe sweep me. But if you're going to off balance me and I gain my balance, but you keep trying to push me like he's going to go, it's like, it's not going to happen. And then you just wasted energy. So one of the things we talked about last night, when we're training, usually on Friday nights, we do 10 5-minute rounds. And the guys have been doing it for a while now. They understand the pace we're looking for because it's a pace you can maintain for an hour, right? So then we have new people come and they roll at a regular pace when they're used to like sitting rounds out, or they only do 4 or 5 rounds, like 2 or 3 rounds and then go home. So when you have to do 10 rounds and you try to do that pace, you like
you get your 2 rounds and then you're like, oh god, this goes on.
Then you do a third and it starts going bad, and then like you sit one out and you come back and then it just keeps getting progressively worse, and then you're in a puddle in a corner while everybody else is still sparring. So efficiency is going to come into that, and then you just realize that it's like, hey, like have I been? It's a great teaching tool to the kind of pace you should have all the time, because in this perfect situation you should be able to just go on a mat and do jiu-jitsu forever, right? Like not that we have the time to do 10 hours of sparring a day, but if we should, like, you know, when I go to camp and there's open mats, sometimes I get like 2 hours or rolling, and my first round and my last round look pretty much the same. And then like, yeah, I'm a black belt, I'm more efficient, but that's what you're shooting for, especially as a white belt, is you need to understand if I'm getting overly tired, it's not that I'm not strong enough. Maybe my cardio is not there yet, but like that comes along pretty quick. It's just, I'm doing too much for what I'm capable of in terms of my efficiency and my work capacity. And both those things you gotta work on, but until you get there, it's just realizing, hey, most of the time the answer is gonna be, I'm doing too much.
Yes. And as a white belt, I remember I was always so tense and I didn't know it. Because people go, relax, relax. I am relaxed. And I'm sure I was just like squeezing them to death. But you just don't know how tense you are until you get enough experience to where you're like, almost like your nervous system can relax.
What is like I always forget, but it's like unconsciously unaware.
It's whether you start off as unconsciously incompetent, like you don't even know you're bad.
Yeah.
You're bad, you don't even know it. And then you learn a little bit and you go, oh, I'm bad at this. And so you're conscious of it, but you're bad at it still. So you're like, that's when you're like a white belt and you're like trying to learn, but you aren't good yet. And eventually you get to where you have to think about it, but you are you're doing it right.
The behavior.
But you have to really think about it to do it right. And then eventually you pass to where you're just doing it right and you don't even think about it.
Yeah.
So it's like moving through these stages of competence or incompetence at the bottom, don't even know it, then you know it, then you're better, you're not incompetent, but you're really having to work at it, and then finally you're competent and you don't even have to work at it.
Yeah. So I think some of the best teaching tools for this, especially if you're getting tired, is if your gym has a day where it's a long amount of training, so it's like an hour sparring or it's an hour open mat, go and try to roll for that hour and like find a pace where you can do the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a short amount of time, you can do like nasal breathing only. So you only breathing in and out through your nose, and then that kind of puts a governor on your body.
You know you're going too hard.
Yeah, if you start like having to like suck air through your mouth, it's like you're going too hard. You're going like into like you're going from like aerobic into like anaerobic. If you're going anaerobic, you're like trying to muscle too much. And then like there's times jiu-jitsu is going to be scramble and whatever. But until you learn where you need to be, try to just do like everything. Mm-hmm. Nose breathing only, and then I think that's a great teaching tool.
And I've even seen that just make the person have better technique because they calm themselves by breathing that way, and they're not like frothing at the mouth. They actually learn to pace themselves through making the effort to breathe that way. So there's a whole bunch on that. Go learn some jiu-jitsu.